Welcome to another episode of the Mixtape Matinee Podcast. I'm your host, Cole.
And I'm Court.
And before we start off today, we just want to say thank you so much to the listener in London, England, who's been listening to all of our episodes.
Yeah, we randomly got like 38 downloads.
Yeah, something like that. So now London. England is like the second most streamed country. So thank you.
Followed, I think, by Belgium.
By Belgium, yeah, because of the Frankie train drop-off. So shouts out. Thanks, England. We appreciate that. Also, another thing to just mention, again, I know I mention it every episode, but it really helps if you guys just share the podcast. If you text it to a friend, word of mouth is the best way to help the podcast get big. And then just also rate it. It also helps us out a lot. So thanks so much. For today, we have one of my really good friends, Paden Carter, on the podcast.
Woo!
Yeah, Paden.
Hello.
Welcome, Paden. Paden, do you want to tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Hi, my name is Paden. I live in Utah. I'm a voc rehab counselor.
Oh, cool.
I like music. I like film. I'm a big nerd.
Yeah, Paden. I know Paden back from the days of being in the music scene here in Rexburg, and you had your own band, Vitnile. It's like an instrumental band.
Yeah.
Which I've always wondered, what does that come from, the name?
It's Latin. It means nothing life or life of nothing.
Oh, that's kind of cool. That's
cool.
awesome.
I was really into existentialism and nihilism at the time.
Okay,
Nice.
that's cool. Yeah,
I've
so go
graduated to absurdism since then.
Oh,
yeah. So go check out Paden's. I mean, we'll link your music in the show notes, but people should definitely check out Paden's stuff. And it's kind of fun. People should definitely follow Paden on Instagram. You're always messing around with keyboards and pedals and stuff. So if you're a gearhead, you definitely like Paden's page.
Thank you.
So yeah, thanks. Yeah, again, thanks so much for being on. I've always enjoyed talking to movies with you, Paden, and then also music. I know that you're a huge black metal guy. It'd be kind of fun to have you on again and maybe talk about a black metal album.
maybe we should do that in November.
In November, are you still doing that, where you only listen to black metal in November?
Yeah. Hashtag nothing but black metal November. Of course.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to have you on here in a little bit. That'd be kind of fun. But today we had Paden on, and we asked you, well, and also, since it's the month of October, we thought we're going to do something a little different this month. We're actually going to be just talking about movies for the next couple of episodes, just because it's Halloween.
And we're going to focus on spooky Halloween vibes.
Yeah, spooky kind of horror films. So we asked Paden to come on because I know you're a big horror guy. And Paden, do you want to tell the audience the movie you picked?
I picked The Witch. It's a movie by Robert Eggers from 2015.
What went we out into this wilderness to find? Leaving our country, kindred, our fathers' houses. For what? For the kingdom of God. Let us pray.
You've cursed this family.
Who's there? Oh God, my Lord, I now begin. Oh, help me and don't leave my sin. For I repentant now shall be. From evil I will turn to thee. None ever shall destroy my faith. For I repentant now shall be. Oh God, my Lord, I now begin. Oh, help me and don't leave my sin. For I repentant now shall be. From evil I will turn to thee.
Receive the Lord.
And can you kind of tell a little backstory on, I guess, your experience with the movie, like when you first saw it, and yeah, kind of share that?
Yeah. I first learned about it in 2016. I had a friend who was a digital audio production major going to UVU. Shout out to my friend Tyler Ashcraft. He had the opportunity to go to Sundance Film Festival up in Park City for those of you who are unaware. And he sent me that listing, and this was on the list. I was in school at the time, so I was too busy to go with him. But he went and saw this movie at Sundance. He said it was incredible.
Yep.
So that's how I became aware of it. And that's really it. I think it was debuted in 2015 and then had a theatrical release in 2016.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because this was Robert Eggers' first film, so that's why I wanted to ask you how you first heard about it, because I didn't know about this obviously until after like Robert Eggers had gotten big, with some of his other movies. Like I think the first one that I saw was The Lighthouse, and then I kind of went back and watched this movie. So anyway, I think it's cool that you picked this movie, especially the first film by him. But he really hasn't done that many films either. He's done The Witch, The Lighthouse, The Northman, Nosferatu, and then he has a new one coming out next year called Werewolf.
Yeah. This theme of redoing monster movies from the 20s and 30s, I'm really on board for it. I'm really excited for it.
Especially how Robert does it. Like, he's so true to form. Like, he tries to make, like, the way that the people's characters speak, especially in The Witch, in this film. And then I've always appreciated, like, his production design is just amazing. Like, how he just creates the world, and then you feel so locked into it.
Yeah. I think Robert Eggers is one of those directors where... when you watch his movies, I think one of his messages is, I watch movies. As a director. I mean, and if you haven't seen The Lighthouse, and especially Nosferatu, if that message isn't incredibly apparent, I don't know what to tell you. I think his message is, I watch movies, and I want people to know I watch movies as a director.
Yeah, for sure. So, so I would assume, so me and you, Paden, both of us had seen The Witch before, but Court, this was your first time watching it?
This was my first viewing of The Witch.
Have you seen any of the other Robert Eggers movies?
This is my first Eggers film.
Well, I guess it's good. You got to start at the beginning, right?
Yeah, I liked it.
It's a very good place to start.
Yeah.
Should we give a quick little synopsis?
Yeah, do you want to give a little synopsis, Paden, of the film, in case people don't know about it?
Yeah.
And
sure.
don't spoil anything, obviously.
Well, you can spoil up to that first half.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask about this. Maybe we can have a segment at the end for spoilers, but for the synopsis, I'll leave it out for now.
Okay.
It starts with this family of, let's see, it's
Puritans.
6 at the time, and then they're in front of this council of elders in a plantation of Puritans, and they're angry at the father character, William. It's kind of unclear why, and they kick him out and his family, and you see them pack up their wagon and leave. They pick this random piece of land out in the woods, and then some undisclosed amount of time elapses. They have an infant, they have some animals, some crops, and that's where the main part of the story picks up. You have just a series of unsettling events.
Yeah, and it's kind of like it almost just snowballs from there, just from like one incident, especially with the baby at the beginning.
Yeah.
Eggers, in interviews about this film, described it as, he said, I'm not making a allegory. This is purely meant to be a Puritan's nightmare. Worst nightmare come to life, which I thought was interesting. I still found stuff to be allegorical, even if he said he's not trying to. But yeah,
I think
that's a really cool premise for a story.
Yeah.
And so it takes place in New England in like the 1630s, and most of the film is just this family. The film stars Anna Taylor-Joy, Ralph Ineson, Kate Dickey, and then I think the guy that plays the kid that plays Caleb, his name's Harvey Scrimshaw. I was like, I had to remember how to say that. Full disclosure, I'm not a big Anna Joy Taylor fan. I was like Anya Taylor-Joy. I like to hate on her. I think the only thing that I've ever really, really liked her in was The Queen's Gambit on Netflix. But there's just something really annoying about her. I just want to, I don't know.
Really? What about Last Night in have you seen Last Night in Soho?
I haven't seen that one.
That one, she's great. This one, she was great, I thought, in The Witch.
I
love The Queen's Gambit.
I think
I'm the total opposite of you. I'm a Anya Taylor-Joy. Is that?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
I don't know, something about her face, and she's got something about her face, and then she's got like this just like snootiness in like all of her, and I just want to like, I don't know, it just aggravates me for some reason. But she
wasn't snooty in this at all.
No, but I'm just thinking back to like her other, like, it's funny. It's like I almost can't separate her from her character. But anyway,
so
no, I mean, she's great in this. It's just I'm just not the biggest fan of her. But this movie, it was great, and how she plays it is really interesting.
I will say the standout performances for me actually it wasn't her. It was the parents for me.
That's what I was gonna say. Ralph, he's my favorite part.
Absolutely.
Like the dad is like my favorite part. Like as far as acting goes, his performance was my favorite. Just like his character is kind of interesting because he's so pragmatic about everything, but then yet he's also like, you find out later, like he's like super prideful. Yeah. And that's actually one of the reasons why they get banished is because of his pride. He won't. With the council, it's because of his pride. He doesn't admit to some wrongdoing that he didn't actually do, but he's like, I'm not going to do that. And because of pride, his family gets banished. And as the film goes on and all these different things happen, you actually see like that pride comes to haunt him a little bit, this family. But
one of the standout moments for me, and I think it's okay to spoil this detail because it happens really early on.
Yeah.
After the baby goes missing and is assumed dead by the family, there's so much worry in this Puritan family about the salvation of this infant.
Right, yeah.
And one of the standout moments of the father is when he's talking to his young son.
Oh, yeah.
Who's worried about the salvation of the baby and himself. And it's hard because they believe in this really like
black and white
kind of brutal, cosmology, but the father still tries to be.
Well, he's also saying like, I can't tell you because I don't know the mind of God.
Right.
But we just have to have faith that he's in heaven.
We have to hope, basically.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's like, I can't say that your brother's not in hell.
Yeah,
and
but then
like,
then he's also super real with them, and it's like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, but that was a standout moment for me. Also, I guess this is too late in the film for me to talk about it. Maybe at the end we can do a spoiler moment.
Yeah,
just because there's stuff that I want to talk about the end.
Okay. Yeah. What were some of your thoughts, Paden? Again, like rewatching it for the podcast.
I had a thought about what Court said, and then I can talk about some of my thoughts.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
I think one of the I love this movie, but one of the interesting things that scene taps into is Caleb's fear about his little brother, and also the Puritans' reaction to the doctrine of original sin. Yeah. How Catholics believe that infants have to be baptized, and Puritan is formed as like a reaction to Catholicism, right? And so they abandon so many of those like core beliefs. So it's like, what's the solution to this? Infants just don't have salvation, or they have to wait until they're old enough to declare faith in Christ. And that's the conundrum that this family is in, is that this infant was taken before it could achieve salvation, but in their religion because they don't believe in infant baptism and the salvation that comes through that. They're just kind of faced with this problem. It's like, is our infant in hell?
Yeah. And it really troubles the mother as well.
I mean, naturally, yeah.
Going back to your question, I took a whole bunch of notes. One of my favorite parts about this movie is that I have a different experience every time. I have a whole outline about things I could talk about, but I was stunned by the chthonic symbols, like the hare, the goat, and the wolf that they think that a wolf took the baby into the woods. I was interested in the conspiracies throughout the movie.
Real quick, chthonic means of or relating to the underworld, right?
The earth.
Oh, the earth. Okay.
Yeah, it's a mythology term. It's CHTHONIC.
Okay.
But it's symbols of the earth that are allegorical or mean something. Like in Greek mythology, Medusa is a chthonic symbol, for example.
Oh, okay.
So it's symbol like animals or symbols of the earth that are symbolic. They mean something.
Okay, cool.
So the hare that they see, the goat, Black Phillip, right?
Black
And then
Phillip.
the idea that they think that a wolf took the baby. I was interested in the conspiracies. I noticed like the conspiracy between William and Caleb early on about how William took Kate's cup and sold it. The conspiracy between Caleb and Thomason about leaving to find food. The conspiracy of the twins against Thomason, trying to pin her as the witch that took the baby, and is at the center of the other unfortunate events of this movie, and how William eventually kind of feeds into that conspiracy against Thomason with the twins, until Thomason convinces him that it's the twins that are at fault for Caleb's death and for what's happening on the farm. Just like those inter-family dynamics. I don't know. I work in mental health, and I think a lot about mental health and family dynamics and relationships a lot. And so that's what struck me this time.
That's super interesting. The family dynamics, it's almost like this like micro state, like this like commonwealth of a singular family home out in the wilderness, kind of this atomistic like us against the wilderness. And that's something I picked up on too, is in this film the way the wilderness is depicted. It's like almost like that's the wild realm of evil, and it's very like binary in its thinking, like, and I think part of that comes back to like the Puritan Christian worldview, where you know you have this binary where you have like this you have the Trinity on one side, and then on the other side you have the adversary, and you see in other ways how binaries play out, good and evil and things like that. I thought that was interesting. As far as the family dynamic goes, though, that's interesting you bring up how there's all these conspiracies. And I think when you think about it, part of the reason why there's so much like secrecy in this family is because there's an immense pressure to conform to like this really high standard of that they set for themselves. And so like when you're under that much scrutiny, because they're constantly scrutinizing themselves and each other under this really intense scrupulous like lens, like religious lens, It makes sense that you would end up having secrets from each other to me. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's part of being Puritan that I think the movie captures so well, is that very high sense of self-criticism.
Yeah.
Like, I think of the scene where William and Caleb, toward the beginning, go out looking for apples, and how William is making Caleb recite these prayers or like rhetoric associated with
Yeah.
the low state of humanity and the relationship to God.
Yeah. Yeah. Like he's a child, and he's basically reciting how he's like absolutely wretched compared to God and morally impoverished, and all he can lean towards is sin, and it's only through God's grace that he can expect to have any kind of salvation. It's kind of brutal psychologically for a child, I think, to be taught that. But yeah,
I think that brutality comes out later in a scene regarding Caleb that we can maybe talk about toward the end.
yeah, for sure.
At least just his relationship to God and that fear of sin.
Yeah,
But maybe we can come back to that.
Yeah. When you were sharing your thoughts on it, Paden, it just made me think like the movie kind of like really starts going downhill as soon as the baby is kidnapped, because then there's all of this deceit, there's all of these lies, all of this stuff within the family dynamic, and it kind of just escalates things, the fact that they're not honest with each other. And because of that, there's all these issues that kind of turn up. And then also, like, the outside forces, like, I mean, the inside forces are affecting the family, but then the outside forces also start making things even worse and worse and worse until, like, the climax of the movie. One of the interesting things I thought about, like, how the movie was filmed was Edgar's chose, to make it look the most authentic, he chose only to film with natural light, and then when they would film indoors, he would only use candles, like, and just like made it work, which that's really hard to do, like with a camera and everything. So that's why the film kind of has that natural kind of look effect. And then he wanted to pick a place to film that was super secluded from just everywhere, and so they ended up. I think he wanted to film somewhere in New England, but they ended up filming in Canada, actually, just because it was cheaper. And anyway, they were able to find a remote place to film. So the film is in Canada.
Yeah, and he did a ton of research, and they actually built their own farm, like, for the set. Like, it's all built. They built the cabin.
Yeah.
They built all of it according to how it would have been done back then, too. Mm-hmm. So he definitely does a lot of research and employs a team.
That's
of
why I said we
researchers.
started the episode out with me
Yeah.
talking about his production design. That's how all of his movies
Yeah.
are. He's like so in like detail with what he wants, which I think is so cool.
There's a small detail. The family is from Yorkshire originally, but the community that they're banned from is from Essex.
Oh, really?
And originally he wanted to have their like voice,
The accents?
their accents to be from Essex, and he's going to have them be from Essex. But the kids had too hard of a time,
Oh, so he switched it.
so he switched it to Yorkshire.
So that's what the accent is. I was trying to
Yeah.
figure out what accent they had because I thought it was so
Yeah.
interesting.
But I think it actually adds to it to have them already have been kind of like outsiders before they were cast out.
That's so interesting. That's a detail
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah,
Kind of adds to it.
yeah. I have so many thoughts about this film. Part of what I want to talk about too is contrasting the two films too, so that's tricky too.
Yeah, we can wait till like till the other movie,
But I think a big part of this film is like how they respond to scarcity. Like when their crops are not turning out enough good corn, and the winter is coming, like how they respond to that is very interesting to me, and how everything is moralized in this. Like everything is, oh, we are suffering because of either a scapegoat or because we are in disfavor with God, or because God is putting us through a trial for some reason, or like everything's moralized. And I thought that was really interesting as well.
Also, I just want to say, like, the twins, they're creepy as hell. I don't know what it is about twins, but
I wanted to look
the
up.
twins in this film are so creepy.
I'm gonna hurry and look up their little song about Black Phillip.
Yeah, because they kind of come up with that Black Phillip song, and it's funny the whole. There is a little like foreshadowing and like this weird relationship that the twins have to Black Phillip that.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny.
Black Phillip is a goat.
Is a goat in the film.
Clear.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, the twins are creepy as hell. I just thought that was so funny.
Okay, it goes, Black Phillip, a crown grows out his head. Black Phillip, to nanny queen is wed. Jump to the fence post, running in the stall. Black Phillip, king of all. Black Phillip, king of sky and land. Black Phillip, king of sea and sand. We are ye servants, we are ye men. Black Phillip eats the lions from the lion's den. I just thought that's kind of interesting.
So there's kind of a little bof a theme where we were talking about the earth, right? About themes from the, like what Paden you were talking about.
Yeah.
He's kind of the king of that. Kind of interesting. Also, the guy that, I mean, the voice, I don't want to spoil too much, but the voice is so creepy. It's creepy.
Oh.
At the end of the film.
Yeah.
And I don't know who the voice actor is, but nailed it. Creeped me out. Also, I don't know if this is bad, but like the only character, well, that's not true. I feel like the only characters I really cared about were the dad and Caleb. Actually, I think Caleb's the one that I like. I feel like Caleb's my favorite. Like, I feel like I had more of an investment in Caleb than any other character. And so what happens to Caleb? Anyway, I don't want to spoil it, but it's like, anyway, I feel like it had more an effect on me. Like the twins could care less. Mom could care less.
Well, and we don't. Well, I'll wait
anyway,
until the spoiler section.
I don't know how you guys felt about each of the characters, but that was kind of my read of rewatching this for the second time. But
all of them pulled at my empathy.
Really?
Except for the twins, kind of, because the twins
are so creepy.
Yeah,
they're just kind of annoying.
They're annoying and creepy, and
I don't know.
Yeah. Also, I like Anya Taylor-Joy, so I probably had more of a connection with her than you did.
Was there anything that you were thinking, Paden?
I could talk about the witchcraft stuff.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
I'm really into like witchcraft and the occult. Like I'm not a practicing witch. I'm just like in an academic sense.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about some of the witchcraft stuff from this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Do you know what a familiar is?
Oh.
Just from like what we do in the shadows. Like a servant.
Well, with witches, I'll let Paden take the.
Is it like an animal representative of the witch in what we do in the shadows?
Oh no, it's just like a guy that's a servant to the. It's a servant to the vampire. That's a human.
Oh yeah, that's kind of in line.
Yeah. It's a little different.
Like in this in the 17th century, in this line of what they're talking about here, like familiars are animal representatives of the witch. It was theorized by later scholars of witchcraft, like the Mathers, the Reverend Mathers, what's his name? Cotton Mathers, that the witch could astral project essentially and see through the eyes of the familiar. Mm-hmm. I have an idea that the hair is a familiar.
Yeah, that was my
specifically
sense too,
specifically of the first witch that we meet in the movie with the red cloak.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
who meets Caleb in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the hair specifically belongs to her.
Yeah.
I think that's a good read. Yeah.
I was really interested in like Black Phillip. Of course, he's a goat. Like the Bible talks about that, and Thomason talks about it as well. He shows himself in the form of a goat and whispers. Like he had to be a goat. And then if we get to the spoiler section, we can talk a little bit more about that.
If you want, we can just do the spoiler
Yeah,
section right now.
because I have more I want to talk about.
Let's just talk
too,
about the spoiler section right here.
Yeah. Warning, spoilers ahead.
Okay, we've come to the spoilers section, and now Paden's going to share something.
So before we get to the end of the movie, I want to talk about what happens to Caleb.
Yeah.
So part of the conspiracy thing I mentioned with him and Thomason earlier is that they go into the woods looking for food, relating to what Court said earlier about the scarcity thing and the family being on the brink of starvation. They take William's rifle and the horse and the dog. Some more resources that come up missing. They see the hare again. The horse gets spooked. Thomason gets bucked off and is knocked unconscious, and they get separated. Caleb meets this witch in the woods. I like to call this first witch Red Cloak, just because she wears a red cloak and we don't know her name.
And she's
or
voluptuous.
if she belongs,
She's voluptuous.
or if she belongs to the coven of witches that we meet at the end of the movie. She kind of has her own little place and is not associated, at least initially, with them.
Yeah.
But the thing that is so compelling about what happens to Caleb to me, let me finish the synopsis part and then we'll get to that scene. He disappears for a little bit. The family goes searching for him. Thomason goes to bed down the animals and finds him naked and witched, as they call it, bewitched. They take him in. They start to care for him. They make a little incision in his temple to let some blood out. They believed that was part of a medicinal that helped back then. But he eventually regains consciousness for a little bit and is in this psychedelic phase where he screams and says, "She's upon me. My bowels. Oh, it hurts," right? And he's like screaming in pain. But then he shifts phases not to this torment of this specter of a witch, whatever is upon him, as he says. But he starts to talk about the pain of sin. He just yells that in the movie, or in the scene. He says, "Sin, sin." And eventually he has this sort of like catharsis where he, I'm guessing from just the dialogue, he sees in his mind's eye God, and eventually calms down, lays down. His respirations, his breathing goes shallower, and then he dies.
Yeah.
Harvey Scrimshaw, I was reading a little trivia about this. He was directed in this scene by Ralph Ineson and not by Eggers.
Cool.
The fact that he's like, I don't know his exact age, but he's like a kid and he pulls off that scene is insane to me. Like, it is so unsettling.
Yeah, really unbelievable. He's a really great actor. And like I said at the beginning, like, Caleb was like the character that I really cared about. And then like when that happened, I'm like, dang it.
Well,
So like,
we left out one detail.
yeah,
When his mouth is sealed, they get
a knife.
a knife to try to pry it open or
Yeah.
whatever. They pry it open,
Yeah.
and this rotten apple
comes out. Yeah.
It comes out,
Mm-hmm.
which earlier in the film, which I think has a few connotations. Earlier in the film, he lies.
Yeah, he lies about it
to the mother.
For his dad.
Kate, I think is her name.
Yeah.
And says instead of saying they went going to trap food, to trap hares or whatever, he lies and says, "Oh, I thought I saw an apple tree, and we went to go collect apples." So I think that's representing like his sin, like that lie.
Yeah.
Especially it's interesting. Where do you it's the sin in the mouth? It's a lie. So it's interesting that it's like blocking.
Comes
his
out the
mouth.
mouth. Yeah.
Also, Garden of Eden reference, the fruit, obviously.
And a reference to witches themselves. Right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And also, go ahead.
I think it's a reference to demonic activity and whatever could have been assaulting him at the time. Yeah. Part of exorcism is that you have to find the demon's name. And what did they ask him before? They say, "Who is it, Caleb? Who's doing this to you?" Trying to find out a name or a person, and then his mouth locks shut.
Yeah. Yeah. And he coughs up a whole apple, like to make it clear that it's like obstructing his mouth. Like, yeah. But also like, this is something that I picked up on, and you guys can totally like tell me if you think I'm pulling at strings. I think the way that each of them meets their demise, kind of, or their end, has to do with the way that they could be tempted in a way. So, like, if we look at the father, what's his thing? His whole thing is pride, and he's also throughout he takes solace in chopping wood, right? And you just see this wood pile getting higher and higher.
Which is so funny
and higher. And at one point, what's her name?
Thomason
is like, all you do is chop wood. Like you don't
know how to farm. You don't know how to catch animals.
Well, so in the beginning, he has a hearing where he refuses to yield. The governor says that he is being banned for prideful conceit, right? And in the climax, Black Phillip rams him into a giant stack, and his horn pierces his gut, and the stack falls on top of him. Anyway, so I thought that was interesting. Then the mother, Catherine, with her despair, and I thought that could maybe be the weakness or the resentment that she has could be the resentment, could be the weakness. Mm-hmm. So if you see what happens, like her grief literally leads to her having this like moment where she, first of all, her maternal grief leads to this crazy night vision where a raven literally pecks at her like chest, and then she tries the next morning to strangle Thomason because of her resentment, and then is ultimately killed by Thomason in self-defense. Then Caleb has this forbidden desire and curiosity. So in the film throughout, we kind of get the sense that, I don't know if you guys picked up on this, Caleb is like going through puberty.
It's very apparent, yes.
Yeah, he's like in a very repressed culture. He keeps stealing glances at Thomason's chess. And then the witch who lures him into her house is clearly supposed to be a seductress.
Yeah.
It's interesting that he ultimately dies because of all of that. So with the apple and everything. And then I couldn't, with Mercy and Jonas, I just tied it into their blasphemy and false witness. Like, because they said, who's the king of the land? They said it was Black Phillip instead of God. And then they bear false witness against Thomason. And we don't know what their fate is, but they
most likely they're dead.
Disappear. It looks like the witch turns around and lunges at him.
Yeah.
Probably. And then obviously the baby, there's nothing, because it's a baby, not guilty of a weakness, sin, whatever. And then, okay, and then there's Thomason, right?
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother can of worms. But I don't know. Do you guys
Yeah.
think I'm pulling it string? Like,
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so at all.
I like the theory.
Yeah, I like that a lot. So I have a question for you guys. At the end of the film, when Kate has she has kind of like that weird demonic vision, but then you actually find out it's a crow like biting at her.
yeah, I think that was.
Did that actually happen?
Yeah.
Because like it shows that
shows that
she's
she's
bleeding,
bleeding.
right?
Yeah.
So
I think
I'm
that-
assuming that one of the witches sent a crow to
Well,
go.
yeah,
bite her?
Yeah. So
That was the one thing I wasn't sure about.
no, I think for sure, and I think also it's implied. I think that she signed the book, the Devil's Book.
The mom?
I think so. It doesn't show it, but what does the child say? What's his name? The boy.
Caleb?
Caleb, when he comes to her, says, I have a book for you to look at.
Oh, I forgot about that.
What book is he talking about? He's definitely
Talk about the Devil's Book.
Yeah. And he's like, if you'd
I
like,
guess I didn't think about that.
yeah, he's basically saying, like, if you'd like to see us going forward,
Oh,
I
yeah,
have a
because
book.
she sees that crazy vision with both of her dead kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm assuming that it doesn't actually show it, but I'm assuming that the twins get killed somehow.
In the let me see what it says. I found something interesting about that because I was like, where are the twins? It just says in the script, all that is written is Jonas and Mercy are gone.
So they're just taken.
So we don't know.
I have a conspiracy.
Oh,
Okay.
let's hear it.
I think the coven of witches in the woods came and took the twins.
I could see that.
I don't really have any evidence for that because there is none. But I think the coven of witches came and got them. Like the witch that came and drank the blood of the goat.
But would they take the boy though? Because that was all female, right?
There could be men
That's
witches. If you look at Puritan society, like
I'm saying within the context of the film, all we really see is
Women.
female witches.
Yeah.
Well-
I guess that's a good counterpoint.
well,
I don't know.
I don't
It's
know,
an
but if
interesting-
you look
it's
at
an
the Salem
interesting
witch
theory, though.
trials, they put men on trial too. And
Yeah, but that's actually different than like this is actually that's what's kind of interesting about this film.
this is
It's
real?
like this
the
is
witches are
real
Yeah.
in the whole world
see
of
that.
it being not real and
Yeah.
being like a crazy like herd mentality type of thing, where it's
Did-
like, oh dang, this is actually happening.
Did
Anyway.
you notice okay, am I dumb? Because the twins literally, when they see the witch at the end, when they're in the goat shed,
Yeah.
do you realize what they call out?
What do they say?
They say Flora.
Really?
Who's Flora? Is that the name of the witch?
Maybe Black Phillip told them the name of the witch.
Yeah, because I was like, wait, go back. They yelled Flora. Do they know the witch?
oh, I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I did not catch that.
Yeah.
My only other guess is that it was the name of the goat.
Oh yeah, it's probably the goat's name.
Oh, because they're
Because
because she's
she's like
milking a goat.
Yeah, she's like killing it, like Flora. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably
That
what it
makes
is.
sense. That makes sense. Okay, okay.
That settles that.
That makes more sense. Flora doesn't sound like a witch name,
Yeah.
really. I was hoping the twins knew.
I also think it's interesting rewatching the film how just at the end, this whole time it's like people are Thomason's the witch, and she's like, no, I'm not, and like I'm trying to like please everybody in the family, and I'm just trying to do right, but then everything's like coming against me. But then it's just funny that at the end she actually ends up like, okay, I guess I'm gonna be a witch now, and she ends up
Yeah.
succumbing to it.
Yeah.
And I think that was the plan from the whole start. Like Black Phillip wanted to have
that was like
have that. I think that was the whole purpose of like killing everybody off one by one until you get
just
to her, so that they could have another one in the bag, another
Yeah.
witch in the coven, and then at the end, obviously the famous scene of her just like succumbing to it, and then actually like being totally okay with it.
Well, it's interesting.
Like, oh, this is fun. This is like Disneyland.
Yeah.
It's like Peter Pan. I'm flying.
It's interesting. So everybody's taken out. The twins are gone. She goes into her house. She falls asleep. She gets up in, I think, the night, goes out to the goat shed
Yeah.
to face Black Phillip. and she basically says like, Black Phillip, speak to me, and this really great voice.
Yeah, like I had mentioned
Yeah.
earlier, super creepy. And then you find out that because she's so illiterate, she doesn't even know how to write her name. And he's like, "Oh, that's
I'll
okay.
help guide your hand."
I'll help you.
I will
and
guide your hand.
Yeah, freaking
Yeah.
creepy as hell. And then
Well, because we see him materialize as a person, but we don't
Yeah.
ever see his face.
Yeah. he's kind of got that. That goatee, classic goatee devil.
Oh,
look.
do we see his face?
Kind of. You can kind of make it out. It's like when I saw it, it made me think of Guy Fawkes. Like he made me
Yeah.
think that he looks like Guy Fawkes almost.
Yeah.
But interesting.
Yeah, and then what does he offer her, though? This was really interesting. Dost thou want to live deliciously?
Yeah, to like go travel and do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That we know from the beginning, like she wants to do.
Yeah, which so much of the Puritan culture, as it's depicted in the film,
Yeah.
at least in this family, is like depriving yourself
Of worldly.
of carnal
Pleasures.
pleasures.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting that that's how.
And then she asks him what he wants in return. And what is it that she says?
I don't remember
I can't remember what she says.
what he says or what she says.
Oh yeah, what he says.
In response.
You guys remember? I can't remember. Anyway, kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think he basically just says like your soul, right? Or
Yeah,
you have to
if
sign
I
my
remember-
book. You have to sign my
Oh
book.
yeah, just sign the book.
Which
yeah.
I
It's just like
researched
taking
that.
your soul.
And apparently, so Puritans believed in a covenant theology, where you would make like covenants with God, and the Devil's Book was a belief they had, where it was kind of a inversion of the covenant you made with God to be a covenant with Satan, and it was compared to like the membership roles that the church kept, but instead you were putting yourself as a member in
Yeah.
Satan's.
That's from the Malleus Maleficarum. It's a teaching. They say, for every doctrine of God, there's an imitation of the devil.
Ooh.
Interesting.
That's
Yeah.
super
Crazy. So we're kind of running low on time. We probably should get to the next
Are we
film.
out of time? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, can I say one last
yeah,
thing?
go ahead.
One last thing. Okay. This is a very patriarchal family and probably society at large. And there's kind of two readings that I've seen on the end where she makes a pact with Black Phillip and becomes a witch. One is its liberation, where she she's had her agency taken away throughout the film, and this is her one chance to like express her own agency. I think that it's interesting. The director said it's not meant to be a feminist like allegory. He said obviously it lends itself to feminist readings.
Yeah.
But he explicitly said like that wasn't by design. And then interestingly, I read other views where it's not seen as a liberation, it's seen as damnation, which makes sense to me because if we take this cosmology seriously, she just sold her soul to go to hell. And interestingly, I found this review from this Catholic writer who says she went from one
Extreme.
one oppressive patriarchal
To another.
to another.
Yeah.
There was no option where because ultimately she's the servant of a man, Satan,
That's so
and
interesting.
ultimately
Yeah.
she is oppressed in the end. So
Yeah.
I just thought
Interesting.
that was interesting.
That is interesting.
Okay. Anything else? Peyton?
Yeah, Paden. Before we switch, anything
Sorry.
else?
I know that we.
I mean, I know you have a lot to say, but
I think that's all.
okay, sweet.
I think we could have done a whole episode just about
Yeah,
the witch, but
probably. But we need
That's
to.
true.
Yeah, we
May-
need to get to the next film. So, Court, this was your
Yeah.
time to pick. You picked a film to pair with The Witch. Tell us a little
Yes.
bit about the movie that you picked.
Yeah, so I did a lot of research. I narrowed it down from a list of films that I was interested in. This film comes out of Estonia. and it was released in, I believe, 2017.
Yeah.
Issand Jeesus Kristus Jumala poeg, heida.
Tahan olla tema naine. Kas sa saad teha nii, et ta temast loobuks ja mind armastaks?
Üks, mida me kohe teha võime, on see, et tapame ära Hansu praeguse Karli.
It is based on Estonian folklore. And yeah, it's what do you want me to talk about, like the background of the film or like the plot, or like,
I was just curious how you decided on this film out of so many films.
Yeah, so I don't try to pick the film until I've seen
the
movie, but I knew that we were on a deadline and that in order to make schedules work and everything, I had to have the film chosen for Paden to watch it.
Yeah.
And so before I watched The Witch, I had to do research into The Witch.
Yeah.
And so I researched The Witch, and I didn't want okay, full confession here. I'm not a big like scare guy, like
Horror
I'm not
guy, yeah.
like yeah.
Neither am I. So.
But I wanted something that still was appropriate, right?
Yeah.
And this film doesn't scare me, or startle me, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm not big on jump scares. The Witch didn't have too bad of jump scares either. But so I narrowed it down to two films. One was a film in which it was also a foreign film, I think from Italy, in which a cloister of nuns gets possessed by the devil, and a priest is sent to banish the devil.
Oh, crazy!
Which I ultimately was like,
nah.
I looked at the trailers for both of them, and I was like, no, this one feels more like it goes with the Witch. I liked it because it has to do with Christianity throughout the film.
Yeah.
It also is folklore.
Yep, heavy folklore.
Which
I have to say, before you guys watch this film, I think it definitely helps to like research Estonia folklore, because me and Tabitha were kind of doing it during the film, and then once we looked things up, we were like, oh, okay. Yeah. Which I mean, people watching this in Estonia, they're gonna know all this stuff, right? It's kind of part of the culture. They're gonna kind of understand some of the things. But anyway, kind of looking some of that stuff up, I think is a little helpful. Anyway,
I liked that it had a female protagonist.
Yeah.
I liked that. And I consider The Witch to be folklore. Too,
it is,
like
definitely.
Puritan folklore.
Yeah.
And it has to do with pacts with the devil.
Yep.
And so basically it had a lot running for it.
Yeah.
Stylistically, it looked super cool when I saw the trailer.
Heck yeah. And... Yeah. Actually, I thought I'd never heard of this, but I actually had. So this this has been on my watch list. I remember seeing a trailer for it on Instagram like a while ago, and I remember thinking like, dang, that looks crazy, like crazy cinematography, crazy
shot in high contrast, black and white.
Yeah, infrared.
Infrared,
and that's why, which is crazy.
Yeah. It's not all infrared.
But no, it's not. Yeah. But I have a lot to talk about that.
Okay,
but,
cool.
But like the camera work. Yeah. But anyway, we can
So quick. Should I do a quick rundown of the
overview,
premise?
like pretty quick.
So basically, you have this main character.
Which her name is Lena.
Lena, young woman.
Lena.
Living in an Estonian family. They are all peasants. It's implied that they live in a serf system with German. With a German manor above them, so there's this tension between the ethnic Estonians and the Germans, which is interesting in the film. But also, so she's living in this family. It takes place on All Saints Day.
Yeah,
is like at the beginning. The first shot, though, is this contraption made out of shoddy tools and apparently, you probably know this in your research, that they puppeteered it.
They puppeteered it. They made that all out of like the actual like objects, and they used strings and pulley systems to actually make the things do what they needed them to do. There were a couple of shots where they used green screen. But most of it is puppeteering. But that weird contraption you see is something that's called a krat, which is in Estonia. You can talk about that.
Well, stylistically, totally reminds me of David Lynch.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, whoa, this could be like out of the Lynch universe.
Well, it's very artsy.
Yeah.
That's why I like to tell. Like, it's an artsy kind of horror folklore movie.
Yeah. So you see this krat, this mechanical thing, stealing a cow, and it airlifts it off. And anyway, we don't need to go into all the minutia.
I will say, sorry, I want to say one more thing. I think I think it's important that they put that right in the first scene because it totally puts you in this world.
Yeah.
And it makes you like have to accept like, okay, I guess this is part. Like this
of the
world. It seems weird.
It's magical,
but I guess it's not weird because it's not weird to everybody in the film. And once you realize that, then you really start to like, okay, we are in a different world. And anyway,
and
keep going.
Find out that, well, first of all, it's interesting because the krat, once it's done doing its job, according to, you probably know this, according to Estonian lore, what do you do with the krat? It constantly needs work or else it will attack you. You see it start to attack this guy and it says like, give me work.
Yeah.
And in order to overcome this is the secret. If you ever encounter a krat, okay, the secret is you give it an impossible task.
Yeah.
And then it will.
It just kind of explodes because it doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And a krat basically is like anybody, you make a deal with the devil.
Yeah.
You give them your soul so that you can have a servant basically. Yeah. And that's what a krat is.
Which the devil in this...
He's like creepy Santa Claus in this movie.
Is very different than the devil in The Witch. Who's portrayed as this, like... In The Witch, he's like this seductive, like...
Very creepy.
Very, like, formal, like, serious, somber. In this, he's like this, like...
He's like comic relief, almost.
Yeah, and I found out he's based on a figure from...
He's a very kabuki.
Yeah, from Estonian lore. A figure named... Vanna Pagan or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Which I guess when they syncretized with Christianity, they like tied it to the devil.
Oh,
interesting.
I didn't know that.
Anyway, long story short,
it's a love story.
It's
basically.
a love story.
Yeah.
And on All Saints Day, they all gather to see the dead actually, and she encounters this boy in the graveyard, who she falls in love with. And they both have lost their
family members.
And they both, anyway, she falls in love with him pretty quickly.
And then he ends up falling in love with the German, with the Baroness. And then, anyway, it ensues. There's this conflict, like she wants him to love him, but she doesn't. Anyway, that's kind of the main premise of the film. And
this
then there's
love triangle.
This love triangle. And then there's all these kind of interesting things that happen with some of the mythology kind of comes in.
Yeah, there's
play.
also like a plague.
Yeah, that comes in
that's going on, but it's personified, which is another thing from Estonian lore.
And it's another thing that harkens back to The Witch because it takes forms as animals. Like the plague takes a form as a pig. So it's
a
like
goat.
That's another thing
and a
that's
woman.
Similar. Yeah, and a woman, a creepy looking woman. I have to say, whoever that actress is, I'm sorry, but
she
creepy.
bids a man to help her cross a river, and then she kisses him, and he the next shot you see is like his face is like charcoal.
It's very crazy. Yeah, this movie rocks. I have to say, it has serious themes in it too, but there's also there's some comic relief. Like the other thing I thought was funny between this movie and Robert Eggers is in Robert Eggers' film The Lighthouse, there's a running joke with farts, but in this movie there's also a scene where somebody farts, and it just reminded me of The Lighthouse for some reason.
Wait, you need to remind me because I can't.
It's like that weird guy that's outside the Baroness's house.
Oh yeah,
when
he farts,
and
the Baron.
Also, there's a... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
The Baron is like, haha.
I know,
he
he's so...
tips his hat. It's like, what the heck?
Also, his outfit is awesome. The black and white outfit is so funny. And then the other thing that's kind of... That also is similar is this movie also has a witch.
Right.
But she's kind of like a nice like grandmother, kind of like an herbalist.
Kind of. But what does she tell? Well, okay, spoiler. What does she tell? Is it Lena?
Yeah, Lena.
Lena to do in order to secure her love.
She has to kill the Baroness's daughter, which is crazy.
So she's not that nice. And we find out what later on, that she, most likely, it's implied, killed Lena's mother. Did you catch that?
Oh, because she was
Because
fell
she's
in
talking
love
with the father.
Lena's dad.
She's talking with the father, and she's like, "You and I had our own thing." And he's like, "I'm sorry for what I put you through." And she's like, "I'm sorry for what I did to your wife." He's like, "What?"
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I have to say I like the witch in this movie a lot. She seems so cool.
The witch in this one?
Yeah.
Dude, do you know that the director just found this woman
she was
living
not
in
an
the woods?
actor. She was some lady that actually lives like that out in Estonia.
Yeah.
Like, crazy. Oh, sorry. We've been talking a lot. Paden.
What
were your thoughts on this movie?
Thoughts on this film. I was nervous about whether you'd like it or not.
I have a note about comparing the Witch in The Witch 2015 and The Witch in November 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Black magic, white magic. The Witch in November 2017 seems to be more natural remedies, almost Wicca.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, it's kind of like that almost.
Like the guy who comes to her for a love potion.
She tells him to make like a shit pie thing. Just like
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah. And then he follows her advice and is attacked in the house.
It's so
Hilarious.
funny.
And then he eats his own poo.
That whole scene is hilarious, and they like tell him to mix it with his like armpit hair. Oh my god!
And they're like, she won't eat it. Okay. This is a whole
It's a
side
sidetrack,
plot.
but you guys
this
will
guy's like, "How do I
understand
make a love potion?" And she's like, "Well, you need to get your poop and then armpit hair and mix it into a pie or something. I don't remember, pastry."
It's so funny. It's so funny. Sorry, Paden, we interrupted you.
I have a lot of thoughts about this movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I found myself being more sad at the end of the movie than with The Witch. Maybe we'll have a spoiler section for this one as well. But I have some notes. I'm just going to go down the list, kind of like with The Witch, and maybe we can talk about some of my thoughts.
Yeah.
The role of Bones in the Kratts reminds me of a couple things. So me being me, witchcraft occult demonology scholar here, the first thing that comes to mind is necromancy. Necromancy, long story short, is the enchanting of remains, human remains, and to do tasks like in the Kratts, or in other ways it's like raising the dead as favors, right?
Yeah.
So, but like the necromancy piece here is really interesting. I also was reminded with the first Kratt that we meet, the skull copter, of the folk. There's this folk tradition from Wales called Mary Lwyd, Lwyd. I'm probably saying that wrong because Welsh is an insane language. But people dress up a horse skull with like a cloak, and they decorate it with like bows, and they put eyeballs in the sockets of the horse skull. And then it's like a wassailing tradition around Christmas where you have to essentially argue with the Mary Lwyd and keep it out of your house, or you have to give it all your alcohol.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
But that's just something that came to mind with this skull copter, and how it's the first thing that we're shown here in this sort of magic necromancy Estonian folklore world. I wanted to talk about a little bit about the cinematography and sound design of the movie. I was struck by the Soviet-esque aspect of it. I was specifically reminded of Ivan's Childhood and Mirror from Tarkovsky.
Cool.
And how just natural it is, how very nature-based the movie is.
Which that's a similar thing with The Witch, like how they shot it. Very nature-based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just no modern aspects at all. I mean, the most modern thing we see in November 2017 is like a horse-drawn carriage, I think.
Oh yeah.
So that puts this, I don't know, within a century or two of the setting of The Witch. The other thing I wanted to talk about related to cinematography was the sound design. I feel like, I'm fairly sure, actually. I think they mic'd the floors of the houses.
Oh.
Like they had room mics or even contact mics. Specifically, Lena's house, where she lives with her dad. And how every scene there is just like clunk, clunk, clunk. Like every step is so resonant. But I also think that's the point of hiding stuff under the house too, right? Also, the crackling of the fires was definitely mic'd and dubbed in. I think that was a really cool move, just to emphasize the natural aspect of the film. I thought that was really cool. Correct me if I'm wrong there.
I didn't look up anything.
I'm
so
not sure,
about,
but the sound design.
About the sound design.
I mean, I noticed that it was very like thumpy with the steps in the house, and yeah, I think you are onto something with the sound design.
I don't know. Just like as somebody who's into guitar pedals, and I'm very interested in reverb.
Yeah,
that's something I noticed as part of the sound design of that movie. There's not a lot regarding like the occult symbology of this movie. The scene where there's like the group of people dressed in white that go through the middle of the town.
Yeah, that's the spirits.
The sort of procession.
The ghosts.
Reminded me of this scene from Black Death, where they come across this cult that's like walking upstream, and they're walking. And there's this guy like standing up in front, like holding this like wolf skull high, and they're all like chanting and doing the self-flagellation stuff. Like the occult aspect of like the procession reminded me of that scene from Black Death. Great movie. I kind of want to watch that one again.
I've never heard of it. I'll have to check that one out.
Great movie. It's got Sean Bean. It's got Eddie Redmayne. It's from 2010, I think. Shot in Germany. And then just a bunch of random thoughts. We kind of discussed it, but the plagues that visit the villagers in the form of animals. I had this thought. I wondered if they were the familiars, and the devil character was a witch. I think, but I think that theory's kind of been ruled out though, because I think that character's supposed to actually be the devil and not a witch. And how they're so terrified of these plagues because they know that they were sent because Lena's dad tried to cheat the devil by I couldn't quite tell exactly. Like he put red ink in the book instead of his own blood.
Yeah, berries.
Oh,
instead
berries.
Of his blood.
Yeah. And how, like, the devil was like, "Oh, this isn't. Somebody's cheated me," and then he sends the plagues. Yeah. I think that kind of goes back to my idea of, for every miracle of God, there is an imitation of the devil, like the river of blood from Moses. And the plagues, right? Just going over my other notes here. Yeah, I want to know more about the witch in the village, the white magic witch, and why, and her relationship with Lena. and then I want to talk about a scene at the end with the wagons. But maybe for the spoiler section.
Yeah. Well, great notes. That's super interesting and fun to hear your notes that you have for it.
Yeah, we can talk about the spoiler section if you want to now.
Okay.
Paden.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Spoiler section incoming.
Spoiler alert. Oh, man, what are we going to spoil about this movie? So Court talked about how Lena falls in love with Hans, who falls in love with the Baroness.
Mm-hmm.
Hans, in order to win the love of the Baroness, sells his soul to the devil to get his own Krat. But he's an idiot and makes the Krat into a snowman who melts.
Yeah.
He goes to visit the Baroness. The Baroness has this sleepwalking condition where a couple times she walks up to the roof and either her dad catches her or Hans catches her or Lena catches her because she's stalking her. And then once they're all predisposed for whatever, she falls from the roof and dies.
Yeah.
And then Hans, because he doesn't get the affection, or he doesn't get the object of why he got his Krat, the devil comes and kills him. And then Lena, grief-stricken, wades into some body of water and drowns herself.
Yeah.
And there's this scene toward the end where the Baroness's body is traveling one way on a road,
mm-hmm.
and Hans's body is being in a wagon because the devil comes and kills him while he's driving this wagon towards the Baroness's house, and they pass each other going contrary directions.
Yeah.
On the same road. It's just I thought that was just incredible storytelling. I had to catch my breath there. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that was cool. And then that, like you just said about Lena going to the river, like the ending, there's that
where they find the treasure.
To me it's a hilarious line where she gets pulled out and then they have all of these treasures that these people are starting to grab from her, and then they're like, here, you have this little bit. And she's like, oh, yes, just what a virgin brain dreams of is having, like, this little bit of gold.
Wow, that's funny. I was so sad I didn't even...
To me, like, her delivery of the line was she was saying it sarcastically, and I kind of laughed out a little bit. I thought it was kind of...
Yeah, they say, here
funny.
is your dowry.
Dowry, yeah. But I just think it's funny how she says, like, oh, great, that's what I wanted. But it's like, at that point, she's like, she's heartbroken and sickened that Hans has died. And doesn't want to live anymore. But anyway, I just thought it was kind of funny. She's like, oh, great, thank you. Like, that doesn't, like, that's the least of my concerns, but.
Yeah. I have thoughts. So, it's interesting how in The Witch, religion is this thing that people serve.
Mm-hmm.
But in November, religion, or whatever you want to call it, belief systems, are a thing that serves people.
Right, yeah.
They use it to kind of navigate this world that they're in. They're starving peasants, and the director of November said that it was based a lot on Estonian folklore, which revolves a lot around greed.
Mm-hmm.
And he said pretty much everyone in the film, with one big exception, is motivated by greed. The exception is Lena.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting how everything in this world, it has instrumental value. Like, it's like people are using everything as a means to an end, like including things that are sacred.
Mm-hmm.
Like even the wafer
Yeah, for sacraments.
For communion.
For communion.
For communion,
You
yeah.
find out that the people actually don't swallow it. They spit it out and give it to this guy so he can bless his bullets with it.
I know.
So that his bullets take down beasts better.
Dude, that scene made me laugh too.
Yeah, it was so interesting.
I just
though.
thought that was so
yeah,
funny.
and I think there's this thing, the director talks about this, and I think he does a really good job with it, where like everything is a tool.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like the Kratts,
are made of tools.
Yeah, it's like an
and they
analogy,
yeah.
analogous. Everything is a tool to these peasants, but in a true moment where we see if Lena is only going to serve her own interests, she has the chance to throw this enchanted arrow at the Baroness to kill her in order to make it so that her romantic rival is eliminated, and instead she saves the Baroness from walking off the edge of the roof.
Yeah.
So in that moment, it shows herself to like value people beyond just like their instrumental value, because like that actually went against her desires, like her grand designs. Like, and then another thing that I thought was interesting that you can draw a comparison to The Witch with is like both protagonists are these women living in fairly patriarchal societies, and there's this moment in November where the dad has bargained her off to this
big ugly guy,
oafish guy, yeah.
and that scene where he sounds like a pig.
Yeah,
and I thought, is he going to turn into the pig?
I thought he was
like, oh, is this
assaulting
the devil
her
or something?
Like I thought at first he was like, but she gets away. Anyway,
it's funny that he sounds like a pig in that scene. It's like so disturbing.
But ultimately, both characters choose to break against like the norms of their society to claim their own agency in a way, which I thought was interesting. And then, sorry, I'm going on and on, but I had a lot of thoughts. Well, do you guys have any thoughts to what I'm saying so far?
No, I think I like that. Yeah, what you were saying about the similarities between this and the Witch and the two main characters, super similar with what you just said.
I had a note about the communion wafers thing.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I think it's not to sound like a broken record, but going back to the religious studies thing. In history, we find aspects of Christianity mixing with heathen or folk practice, and I think this is one of them. In believing that the communion wafers are blessed, and using them for an instrumental purpose, like, or there's the syncretic aspect of that, of weaving a Christian symbol or rite into folk practice of blessing his bullets.
Yeah.
Another example of this is found in the Old Norse rune poem. There's a reference to Jesus Christ in this rune poem from the 12th century. And everything else in that rune poem has to do with Norse mythology and Viking way of life. So it's like, how did Christ find his way into this heathen poem? It's the syncretic aspect of it.
Yeah,
I thought that was a really compelling, interesting part of the depiction in the movie.
Yeah. I thought that was really cool too. I think it's interesting how another example of a character using the church as a means to an end is the woman who's like his deacon or whatever, the priest deacon, literally uses the witch to make him dumb. so that he doesn't realize that he's being cheated.
Yeah.
But she's like, don't make him too dumb or they'll replace him and he's my source of income. It's like, damn. And then at the end for her funeral service, she literally has to like pull him on a rope in order to get him to come.
There's some dark humor in this movie.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I really love it. I love it.
And then I thought it was interesting contrasting the view of nature in both. Because, like, in this one, it's like an animistic world. It's very, like, nature is, like, this thing to be negotiated with. Like, everything has a soul kind of thing. In The Witch, again, it's that binary. Mm-hmm. Good, evil. You have God, you have the devil. Mm-hmm. And whereas this, it's like, even the devil is to be tricked and negotiated with. Like,
yeah, you can trick him. He's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Or not really dumb, but like a fool almost.
Yeah.
Like how he acts.
And like, go ahead.
It's more folklore-y.
Yeah.
It has like the elements of the divine, the gods, the devil. They have human characteristics. Like the way that Lena's dad tricks the devil kind of reminded me of the story of Sisyphus and Thanatos. How he tricks Thanatos, and then nobody can die because the god of death is chained in Hades, right? So it's like the way that he's tricked, and then he exacts his vengeance. They're human characteristics. The gods, or in this case, the devil, has flaws. He's not omniscient.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's super interesting. And then the one last thing that I'll say is in this film in November, I thought it was interesting how my mind just totally went blank. What were we just talking about? We were talking about the nature and how it was like binary for The Witch, but in this it's like this like thick cosmo like that's what I was gonna say. Like the world is inhabited in this one. Like in November, like there's like ghosts everywhere, there's spirits, there's what are those things? Krats. There's just like everything. It's like more animistic. So there's like a lot of, whereas in The Witch, because you just have God and the devil and then this family living on the edge of the wilderness, it's a very sparse landscape. And I thought that was an interesting
that is interesting. Like there's a whole community in November.
Yeah.
Like there's people, there's kind of like these weird characters that kind of pop up, but yeah.
And they don't just trick the devil, they trick the plague by putting their trousers on their head.
Yeah.
So the plague thinks they have two asses.
I thought that was hilarious too. And then eventually Hans gets a sickle and cuts
we assume,
cuts it,
kills the pig,
and that's why they're all running around because they're all happy.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Can I share my thoughts now? I'm like,
so have excited. You literally not?
I've been kind of like saving it. But okay, so we didn't even mention, but the director's name is Rainer Sarnet, and this story is actually based off of a book by Andrus. I have no idea how to pronounce his last name, but it is a book that's called Old Barney, aka November. So that's where the title of the film comes from. Big shout out to the cinematographer of this movie, Mart Tannel. Super cool. As far as one of the things I thought was interesting, and when I was researching this, is the director. He got really obsessed with researching what was like in the 19th century in Estonia, similar to Robert Eggers, who goes and researches a ton. So there's this photographer back in the day that actually went out and he just photographed these peasants. And you can look it up, and I'll link this in the show notes, but his name is Johannes Pazuke. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I looked through some of the photos, and that's how he based off of how the clothing, so like how he wanted the people to look, to like how people's houses looked, what people were wearing. So those photographs is how he based everything as far as production design off of, which I thought was cool. So go check that out. One of the shots in the film, when I was reading, he said one of the hardest shots, this was an interview that I read, and I'll also link it in the show notes, but an interview he talked about like one of the hardest shots in the film is actually a shot where Hans is talking. His Krat, the snowman, is talking about this story in Italy, and it's these lovers that are on like a boat, and there's this shot where it actually superimposes that shot with the night shot, and it's almost like water. It's almost like water in between. So that was one of the hardest shots, and he based that off of a print called Three Worlds by this Dutch printmaker called MC Escher, which basically,
I like MC.
which is if you look at the photo, it's actually a water scene where you can see a fish in the foreground, and then you can see the trees above. So it's cool that he based this one shot off of this lithograph, basically, which is kind of cool. And doing that is crazy because one shot was in the day, one shot's at night, and he just said the hardest part was getting the contrast and the lighting correct, which was so cool. So I like that a lot. We talked about, again, the cinematography is amazing. So we talked about a lot of the shots in this film are shot on film, but also digital cameras. He basically would use whatever worked best for each shot, which I thought was cool. They used infrared cameras, so when you see those crazy contrasty shots, especially the super white, so that's because green is super white through an infrared camera. So those shots they had to shoot during the summer actually. So most of the film is actually shot in the summer, but he makes it look like it's wintertime, which is so cool. How he uses cameras, the infrared cameras and everything.
Just real quick, something cool about that. Yeah. You know when there's that one shot where it starts to snow? Yeah. That actually happened. Yeah. That actually happened. They lucked out on that day of shooting. So that's real snow, which is cool. And then the other thing that, as far as the camera work, I don't know. It's just so cool. It's just a really cool shot film. Like, infrared just looks so cool. Like, the blacks are super black and the lights are super light. One of the coolest shots in the film that he talked about is so there's a shot at night where there's like moonlight, and I can't remember the exact shot, but how he achieved that is he actually closed the lens on an infrared camera all the way, and he filmed the sun. So he made the sun, and then he makes it look like the moon in the film. Wow! And it just makes it's crazy. You're creative. And then one of the shots that I thought was cool was of the Baroness's house at night. He said most of that was just the moonlight. Like, I think they used a couple lights to backlit the building, which I thought was cool. One of the other amazing shots of the film is when Lena and Hans are just sitting in the snow and the rain, and they're just staring at each other. And it's like there's these trees, but they use artificial light in such an interesting way to make it look like it's natural, like the moonlight. Yeah. So I can't say enough about the cinematography. The cinematography in this movie is amazing. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. Real quick, I thought it was interesting that Lena could transform into a wolf. Yeah, that was. We didn't really talk about that. And then the snow Krat that Hans builds can't do jack shit because it's a snowman. But he's so poetic. But he's this poetic guy, and you see it change Hans. I know. Hans goes from being this like guy who's just motivated by I don't know, carnal whatever, to being like this romantic after talking to this. Yeah, he starts writing his own poems and stuff. Yeah, he starts writing his own poems, and then I thought it was really interesting how Lena uses a stolen dress and wears a veil to try to pretend to be the Baroness. Which I'm like, come on. I was watching that. I was like, that's where I had to kind of like just suspend my disbelief. I'm like, how does he not know that that's Lena? But isn't it interesting that one shot that you're talking about where it just shows them staring at each other? Like, it's like one of the most beautiful shots. All night film. Vigils, sitting by each other, just staring at each other. Yeah. After they kiss, or do they kiss after? They kiss. They do kiss, but at the end. At the end. And it's interesting that you catch what Sanders says. He's like, two fools. The one old guy. I know. He's just like you know what? Screw you, dude. Oh, but also remember what the snowman says, too, as he's melting. He's like, that girl loves you. Yeah. And I think when I watched the film, I thought, to me, it seemed like Hans, when he's riding on the horse, he's trying to go back to Lena
in the dress. He's trying to catch up.
You
to
think
her.
he's going to Lena?
Well, that's where he's riding towards her.
I think
in the
he
dress.
thought it was the Baroness.
Come on, like I said, you can't. You could totally tell it's Lena. That veil is not that thick.
I hope you're right because I want it to be
That's what I got from
romantic and for him to.
He's got to be literally blind if he can't tell that that's Lena. Also, I have to say, Lena is way more attractive than the Baroness.
Baroness.
That's just me.
Well, and it's interesting because the Baroness is German, and the people, when they find out that Hans likes her, are all like, "Oh, what the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, you're betraying it."
Yeah,
Oh, and it's so
fine.
interesting that one scene where the guy is stealing. They all steal from the Baron.
I know. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
Part of the movie.
And the guy's talking, and he's like,
yeah, that
on Estonian land,
It's
everything
ours.
is Estonians.
I know, it's so crazy.
So, but at the same time, like you can see, like they're being oppressed by this,
they are, yeah.
like lord or whatever. Anyway, good movie.
Two thoughts.
Yeah.
I had a Russian roommate, and he despised the Slavic ethnicities.
Wow.
The different ethnicities over there, so the Baltic or Slavic areas, they're very not nationalistic, but they are secular, and they kind of keep to themselves. So to see that sort of nationalistic attitude of like Estonian land, they're on Estonian, like it belongs to us. We belong to the land.
Mm-hmm.
I thought was kind of interesting. And then, have you guys seen the movie Pi by Darren Aronofsky?
Pi? No, I haven't. I've heard about Pi.
I've heard about it.
If you like the high contrast black and white look, you should check it out.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
Really cool movie. It's a psychological thriller about a mathematician who loses his mind.
Classic Aronofsky. Always about that psychological stuff, man.
Yeah. It's a very good movie. I like it a lot.
Cool. Well, yeah, thanks for being on the podcast today, Paden. It was really fun talking about these
We've
movies.
gone over already. You said you had
Yeah.
to go around this time. Sorry. We had a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
this
we
is going to
did.
be one of our longer episodes.
Yeah, but it was really good.
But I think it's because we were both passionate about both films.
Definitely.
Yeah.
If you guys are interested, you can watch The Witch is on HBO right now. And then how we watch November is you can download, there's this, it's kind of like Tubi. It's a free movie app, but it's called Fawesome. So download.
It was nice. It only had like one ad for the whole film for me.
Yeah, it was nice. Because sometimes like with Tubi, you get a ton of ads.
so
And it's kind of
many ads.
annoying.
No.
But
It's spelled like awesome, but with an F.
But Fawesome. So go download Fawesome, watch this movie. I mean, November was really cool. I like The Witch a lot, but on this watching, I got to say I like November more. I like that there's humor in it. I like that it was kind of more artsy. It almost had like a Napoleon Dynamite feel, like with like, not saying that it's like
DIY. Or?
No, just like the characters are funny. Like they're playing it straight, but they're funny. But I'm not saying it's like, it's not exactly like that.
I think I get what you're saying. It's almost like that, like, it's like
this.
It's like the peasants have like this earthy humor.
Yeah, it's almost, it's like the people of Idaho, like, anyway, and maybe that's just
like
because
rural folk.
And I think it's just because I'm from Idaho, so I kind of, I was thinking
That's
of Napoleon
so funny.
Dynamite.
I would never have made that analogy.
But it's like, it's almost like, it's an artsy Napoleon Dynamite film about folklore horror, kind of funny. Also, we didn't even say this, but this film was, it was entered in to be for the Academy Awards for Best Foreign Film, but it wasn't nominated.
No.
But they did try. But I think this is awesome. It's my first Estonian movie, and I'm like, dang, I need to watch more Estonian films because I'm sure there's amazing Estonian films out there. But
apparently, the director took inspiration from Chinese ghost story films.
Oh, cool!
Which is kind of cool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So
has a Lynchian vibe, like we said.
Yeah,
with humor.
It does.
Well, Lynch has humor.
Lynch does have humor for sure. Thanks again, Paden, for being on. Do you got anything you want to plug, Paden?
If you want to connect, look me up on Instagram. It's at pdn.crtr. It's my name, Paden Carter.
Sweet, and we'll also link your music in the show as well. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a Letterboxd?
You can look me up on Instagram. It's streaming everywhere. I I do have Letterboxd. I haven't used it in a while. I think it's
like
just
me.
my name, Paden Carter.
Well, maybe this will be an excuse for you to use it more.
Yeah, I've been slacking the last couple months. I was good toward the beginning of the year, but
No, yeah, that's cool.
need to get
yeah.
back to Letterboxd.
Yeah, thanks, Paden. We appreciate you being on. So,
I think I liked The Witch more.
oh yeah, you do. Huh?
I think I do. I like both.
I like both,
But
too.
I felt like November, the plot at parts was a little thin, but because it was so artistic, I still liked it.
Yeah,
But I think the plot was a little stronger with The Witch.
I think so too. But like I said, I think that's kind of another similar thing to Napoleon Dynamite. It kind of like
The plot kind of
it's kind of like one incident after.
meandering. Yeah.
So, okay, thanks, Paden. We appreciate it. We'll see ya.
Thanks for having me on.